Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may have noticed like I talked about that I went to a CPR class, an accident prevention class for infants and toddlers a few weeks ago. I decided to take the class because I somehow stumbled upon a Instagrammer's account who lost their toddler because he or she, anyways, the child had started choking on a bouncy ball and she was unable to dislodge it from his throat, and so he died in her arms. And that hit me really hard because I just figured, if that was to happen now, even though I have some education around it, I really didn't pay a lot of attention to the children part because at the time that I took the course, I didn't have children. I had no children around me. And so I realized that I really didn't feel 100% confident the way I should if that was to happen to Daxton and I needed to take action. I just didn't feel comfortable. So I registered in the course and I made my mom go with me because I wanted her to know how to deal with the situation if it was to ever arise. Hopefully it never does. And so yeah, I learned a lot, and I definitely recommend, if you don't know CPR, like what to do with a choking hazard or any of that stuff, that you should go and take a course because you just never know, and you don't want to be stuck in that situation not knowing what you could have done to save your own child's life, or any other child for that matter. So I definitely recommend going and taking one. But I did a poll and said, like, would you want me to talk about what I learned for accident prevention stuff? And everyone said yes. So I thought I would just like talk about some things because there's so many things I never ever would have even thought were hazardous to babies or children, and they're just like normal household things that you just wouldn't think about. And before we get started, please subscribe to my channel. And yeah, okay, something that obviously we know, like, kids shouldn't eat batteries, but that really got me was where those batteries can be found. So like those teeny little round batteries, like Daniel has them in his gloves because he used to glove. He's a glover. He was like did raves and stuff. So he has those laying around the house. But they said in birthday cards, so like all those singing cards or like little things that make noise or do anything have batteries, and kids are able to get them out. So don't have those singing cards around. Make sure you know, like if there is stuff that, like all the kids' toys, there should be screws to keep those battery packs in place. So make sure those screws are tight. They can swallow the batteries, and the battery acid can like burn their insides and kill them. And so you want to avoid that ever happening. Another thing that she mentioned was that like chargers, phone chargers and stuff, they like to put them in their mouth, and I forget what she said they can do. Because obviously, like, you shouldn't let them put their fingers in sockets and stuff, and that's why you get those childproof sockets. But you can zap them, and I don't know what she said about the chargers, but kids put them in their mouth, and I don't know if it electrocutes them. I think that's too extreme, but it can do something. So make sure your chargers are not on the floor. All of ours are on the floor right there, so we need to get those moved and put them higher up into a place where the kids can't reach them. Also, they said, like, power cords and stuff, so like for your TV, anything like that shouldn't be on the ground, and all of that's on the ground in our house. So we're getting our TV mounted, which needs to be done anyways because obviously TVs are pretty heavy and they can easily tip over once a kid grabs them. So to get your TVs mounted, to get all of the plugs that are in the house either very covered up so the kids can't reach them, or have them plugged in high and above where the kids could get to. And she also talked about baby wearing in the kitchen, because I thought about doing it before, but I'm like, I probably shouldn't wear my baby in the kitchen because you're near hot stuff and like it's just too hazardous. Well, she painted a picture very clear for us because someone she knew was wearing their baby in the kitchen and was keeping her away from the stove, but as she went to move the pot from the front of the stove to the back of the stove, she leaned over the stove and dragged her baby's foot across the very hot burner, scalding her baby's foot. And then someone else, because they were trying to avoid something like that, was wearing their baby on their back, and you can't see what your baby's doing, and the baby got a hold of the butcher knife, and the mom came in the room because the dad was wearing the baby, and the baby's holding a butcher knife in his hand, swinging it around. You know how babies try to put everything in their mouth? Like, that's freaking terrifying. So don't baby wear in the kitchen. It's just not worth it. And then she also talked about because this is something I thought was like normal. Like I was gonna get a like snack pad thing so that babies could eat snacks in their stroller. She said don't ever let your baby eat where you can't see them because they can choke, and choking is silent, so you don't realize something's going wrong. Someone on the street was walking their baby, toddler I think, and was eating Cheerios or something while she was on the walk, and it was a passerby, I don't know, like another person walking down the street who could tell there was something very wrong with the baby toddler, and the toddler was choking, and the mom had no idea. So that person luckily saw that the baby toddler was choking, took the toddler out of the stroller, did the Heimlich maneuver, you know, that smashing on the back thing. The kid was saved. But yeah, I never would have known that. I would have totally been giving snacks while we're walking. Like I would never think it's a big deal. So if you are going to give snacks, make sure the baby kid is facing you so that you can always have an eye on them, because choking is silent and you only have 30 seconds with an infant to perform CPR. And that smashing thing is a Heimlich maneuver. Oh my god, hopefully that's the right word. But yeah, 30 seconds, and that's not from when you see them, that is from when they start choking. So think about how fast 30 seconds goes by, and yeah, it's just scary. So she also brought up in the, you know, since we're talking about choking here, she mentioned how a lot of people cut up their food into bite-sized pieces, but as adults we're guessing what bite size is, and the problem with bite size is that kids can swallow usually the piece that is so small. So she said grating food is actually a really safe way to make them have to like chew, but it also makes them, it can't block their airway. So even if they were to start choking, it might be uncomfortable, but they can't choke on it. So grating food is actually a really smart idea. She even brought up like letting them gnaw on a drumstick instead of cutting up little chicken bites, because you're guessing what size it is. I don't know, that seems crazy to me that you'd let a baby just like gnaw on a drumstick, but I guess that's better than cutting them up into little bite sizes, because that's what I would have done. Like as soon as I start feeding him, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to cut them up into small pieces, and apparently that's not the right thing to do, and that's a major choking hazard because it's easy for them to pop in their mouth and just try and swallow. So don't do that. Grating. She said just grate everything, and it's a super safe way to let them eat. And then she also mentioned like obviously near water, even though you're right there, like if you're in a group where there's a few kids and a group of adults, to always designate someone as the kid watcher when you're near the water, because it's very easy to, everyone thinks because everyone's around like nothing will happen, we're all watching, but people get distracted and then there's no one designated to watching kids, and kids can go running real fast and drowning can happen just as fast. So to always make sure there's someone watching the kids if they're near water, someone designated, like you are the kid watcher, make sure that everything is fine with that baby or kid. She also brought up that co-sleeping, I just did an Instagram post about my co-sleeping experience. People think that if they have a rocking chair or like a lazy boy chair or whatever, that bringing your baby there to feed them and then rock them to sleep is safer, and if you fall asleep with them there, like that's okay. But it's the most dangerous place to fall asleep with your baby, and it's actually way safer if you're tired to bring your baby in bed with you. So she was just saying like if you're tired, exhausted, or whatever, feed your baby in your bed. It's safer. I can link something here, but like the C position, so like you put your baby near your breast and kind of have your arm above and then your legs kind of cupped around, and obviously come closer from the edge of the bed, especially if your baby started to roll. But that is way safer than falling asleep on like a couch or anything, because the baby, or the rocking chairs, because the baby can fall off, it can get wedged in the side and all these other horrible things. So definitely co-sleeping, it's not bad. If you're exhausted and your baby is fussy, just feed them in bed and fall asleep with them. It's just safer. She also said like the general rule for toys to avoid choking is they have to be bigger than like a toilet paper roll. So if like it can fall through the toilet paper roll, then it's generally can be considered a choking hazard because they can fit it in their mouth. So use that, keep that in mind, I guess. Hopefully that's kind of helpful. That is it for the accident prevention piece, and I can't really teach you the CPR and stuff on here, but you have to hit your baby so hard, and it's not uncommon to hear crunches and different things. Like if you are performing CPR, you're likely going to break ribs. It's not a matter of if, it's when. So it's a really serious thing, and it's not to be like pressed lightly. Like you got to do it hard. And same with smashing on that back. Like you have to freaking wail them, and it is horrifying to even think having to hit my baby that hard. So I really hope that it never happens. And for any of you who haven't taken a course, look it up in your area. We went through Safe Beginnings in the Lower Mainland. They do courses everywhere. And so if you are from here, I definitely recommend going with them, or go with someone in your area, but go learn it. Be confident in your abilities so that you can save your baby's life if it is needed. Yeah, because when I stumbled across the Instagram post, my heart like shattered. I can't, like, I'm gonna cry. My heart shattered for that mom. Do you see this? Because I can't imagine being in that situation and having your baby, toddler, whatever, child die in your arms. Oh. What an emotional mess being a mom makes you. Anyways, make sure that you are confident in your abilities so that you never end up in that situation. And my heart goes out to that mom, because I can't even imagine the feeling. Like, it was, she had ordered bouncy balls for her kid's birthday. I'm pretty sure it was a boy and he was 3. And anyways, she had ordered a bunch of bouncy balls, and they came in for the birthday party, and he was playing with them. Got it lodged in his throat. This water bottle leaks. My vagina is like, feels like I'm peeing myself because it's leaking. Okay, anyways. Yeah, and she tried to perform it, and it was too late, and he died in her arms. And so, yeah, I just don't want it to happen to anyone else. And I sure don't want it to happen to me. So hopefully everything I learned in the course will help me if that was to ever happen or arise. And hopefully some of these accident prevention tips have helped you. But definitely, like, baby proofing your home. I'm gonna be like getting rid of everything, of course. I mean, there's normal things too, like all of your household cleaners. She also mentioned essential oils. Don't think that essential oils are toxic, because we think of them as like natural, but they're so concentrated, and you put like 1 drop of water in like a massive thing of water, 1 drop of oil in a massive thing of water. So if the kid gets hold of that and like puts it in their mouth, it can like burn their insides, cause a lot of damage. So all household products like shampoo bottles, cleaning products, you can choose safer, more natural cleaning products, of course, but even those can be hazardous to infant and children's health. So you want to keep them away. Of course, like the Tide Pods, still on detergent. Keep everything high and locked up once you have a baby. Don't just like have it hanging around the ground, which, like, my house is so horrible for children. I have all of my like really toxic cleaning products sitting low underneath the sink. Like, all of that shit has to be put high and cupboards locked, and I'm gonna be like going through my whole house making sure I'm getting rid of like everything that he can reach, because kids put everything in their mouth and it's just dangerous. So if I think of anything else, maybe I'll like write the blog post or something about it, write a blog post about it. But those were the main things that I wanted to fill you in with. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful and has inspired you to go take a course yourself so that you feel confident in your abilities if anything like that was to happen. So I hope you like this video. Please, again, subscribe to my channel, leave me any comments or questions, and always feel free to reach out to me and let me know what would be helpful for me to talk about on here. See you in the next video. I'm sorry for crying. See you in the next video.